You are wasting your life fighting something that is already over. Every single day, you take your focus, your energy, and your emotion, and you pour it into a situation that cannot change. Nothing moves, nothing grows, nothing gets better. This exhaustion stems from a structural error. You are fighting a war that has already ended. Until you recognize that reality, you remain trapped in a conflict that has no possible victor. To change this, we have to look at acceptance. This is the version that requires an aggressive, difficult decision. It involves looking at something painful and unfair, something you never asked for, and refusing to remain in that state of defeat. You have to face the reality of the situation without flinching. It is a moment of total clarity, where you decide that the current state of suffering is no longer an option. The moment you stop the internal struggle against what has already happened, your life starts again. You shift from a state of resistance to a state of forward momentum. When a crisis hits, the human mind instinctively searches for a reason. Why me? Why this? Why now? We stay stuck because we believe that if we can just understand the cause, we can finally move forward. The why pathway leads to an impenetrable wall. Even if why has an answer, the loss remains real. Now look at the alternate path. What now is the door that actually leads somewhere? It gives pain a trajectory. A person with direction is unstoppable. We often destroy ourselves trying to manage things we were never meant to control. We apply more effort, more pressure, and more force, as if the outcome is simply waiting for us to push hard enough. This constant pressure to manage every variable leads directly to burnout. True discipline is knowing exactly where your responsibility ends. You do what is in front of you completely. Make the call, take the step, do the work, and then you stop. Your job ends with the action. Everything that follows is outside of your department. Think of the specific situation you are currently gripping, the relationship, the career path, the outcome you have been trying to force into existence for months or years. You have been holding it so tightly that you have forgotten what it feels like to have open hands. This is the moment to release that grip. Caring for a situation is not the same as controlling it. You have been exhausting yourself with the latter while telling yourself you were doing the former. When you do your part and release the rest, you reclaim your peace. You end the cycle of suffering by acknowledging the limit of your own influence. There is a decision in your life right now that you know you need to make, but you are waiting. You are waiting until the fear subsides, or until you feel certain that the next step is safe. That sense of safety will not arrive. This timeline illustrates the actual sequence of change. Action is the initial catalyst. The feelings of readiness and courage are byproducts that only appear after the decision has been made. You don't feel ready and then act. You act and then you become ready. The future you want will not come find you where you are currently standing. You have to move toward it while you are still afraid. Sometimes we hold on to pain because it feels like a form of loyalty to what we lost. We carry the grief because we fear that letting it go would be a betrayal of the past. This weight eventually costs us our future. Look at how the capacity for life changes. Healing is a process of expansion. The grief stays where it is, but the outer boundaries of your life expand. You are creating new volume to hold both the loss and a new future simultaneously. You are allowed to live again. Making room for the future alongside your grief is a necessary human expansion. It is a commitment to the life you still have. These shifts in perspective, choosing what now, releasing outcomes, moving before you're ready, and allowing expansion, form a comprehensive way to navigate transition. They are active decisions that reclaim your power. The central reality is this: brute force cannot create a new life. Only acceptance can clear the path for one. Identify the reality you are currently pushing away. What loss or potential future have you been exhausting yourself trying to ignore or change? On the other side of that resistance, your life is waiting. It has been there the whole time, but it remains blocked as long as you keep your fists closed in a defensive stance. The final requirement is to open your hands. When you stop fighting the past, you finally become capable of receiving the future.